Hey Grows, welcome to another session. I hope you guys have had a interesting discussion as maybe you shared some of the things that you are afraid of or some of your greatest fears. On Sunday we kind of talked about this idea that even though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death or through the darkest valley, we don't need to fear. We don't need to fear evil because we know, one, he's with us, and two, that he carries a rod and a staff. And because he carries a rod and staff, that fact comforts me. It gives me comfort. It gives me peace. It gives me assurance because I know that my shepherd is got some muscle to him, and he will protect me and he will guard me, and he will also discipline me and kind of guide me and direct me so I can kind of walk through some of the difficulties of life. I think on my road trip, we're kind of going on this road trip across America, and we're kind of revisiting a place we've already been to once, but kind of more on the way, I guess. If you drive 15,000 miles across America, you get to see a lot of America, and you spend a lot of time on the road. And so I realized one of my fears early on, before I really had been drawing near to the Lord and having him, pull me in with his shepherd staff, is that I was driving through Texas. Okay, so Texas is a lot of driving, and if you've ever driven through Texas and you get to like Midland and Odessa, I'm just gonna, sorry, I think it's the worst place in America to live, based on my humble opinion, having crossed multiple times across America. That place is just miserable. I mean, it's all the oil stuff, so there's all these, just oil rigs and everything. The air is smoky and it smells like oil. You just see for miles and miles, it's all you see. But when you get past there and you're moving towards Big Bend National Park, which is kind of in the southwestern part of Texas, you go down this one road, and I was driving down it, and it was like dusk, and so the sun was going down. It's like, I don't know, it says 70 miles until I get to the next town, and it's like nothing. I mean, just nothing but, dirt and some little brush, it's like you're going through the desert. And this was like the third day of my trip, and so I've been driving the entire time, not really doing anything fun, just driving, and I actually had a moment where I started getting really freaked out because I was like, if my car breaks down here, it's dusk, it's getting dark, like I haven't seen another car pass me in 30 miles. I'm in the middle of nowhere in the desert. If I have to walk to the nearest town, I'm gonna have to walk 50 miles. There's no cell phone reception. AT&T, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing. So if anything happens to me here, like what happens to me? And I literally started to almost have a panic attack. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't call Kimberly. I can't call 911. If I'm going to break, I don't know what's going to happen. If something did happen, I'm like in big trouble here. And this is going to be, not good for Aaron 3 days into the trip. And so I started panicking. Like, what if I get a flat tire? What if the engine blows over? I mean, all these things that we do, right? As human beings, like we talked about on Sunday morning, sometimes our greatest enemy is not a predator, it's ourselves and our own minds and our own fears. And so I literally had to kind of okay, I can make it. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to drive 90 miles an hour, so maybe I'll get there faster. You know what I mean? So I can just get through this stretch and hopefully get to where there's some people or cell signal or something. And we can do that to ourselves because we just never know what's going to happen, right? I'm prepared. I have lots of stuff in my car that can help me, but I also am not a car mechanic. Everybody knows that. So if something goes down, I don't know what to do. Interestingly enough, on my second day in Big Bend, so I've made it. I get through that stretch of highway. I get to where there's some people around me, and I'm driving, and it's like I want to go do this one hike. And it happens to be down this one dirt road. And it's like, okay, you got to go down this dirt road 5-6 miles. And so I'm going down this thing. You have to go slow on a dirt road. And I'm just like, all right, I'm going to make it, no problem. There's, again, no cell signal. It's like 90 something degrees outside. The sun is just blazing hot. But I'm like, I'm going to get there. And as I'm driving, suddenly my little boop light goes on my car saying a tire is flat. And I'm like, no, this can't be happening. Like there's no cell signal. I'm in the middle of the desert. I'm on this desert road 5 miles into, I think a 5.5 miles, 6 miles before I get to the point. I'm just thinking, well, maybe I can just get there, do the hike, come back, deal with it. But I'm like, no, it's like going down. I'm like, oh, great. Luckily, because I'm prepared and think ahead and have some wisdom, I have a little pump so I can blow up a tire in emergency. And so I pull over. it's not really pulling over on dirt road, I guess. I just kind of stop, get out my little handy, boop, put it into the cigarette lighter to add the power. I go, pump it back up to 30, get it back to where it's supposed to be. I'm like, maybe I should go get this thing checked out. So I turn around. So I got to make it 5 miles back on this dirt road, hopefully to get a cell signal at some point. And within half a mile, beep, 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 beep. Tire's flat. I'm like, no. So I have to stop again, plug in the thing, blow it back up. So then I go on the little dial where you can see the air pressure while you're driving. And so I'm just watching it go down as I'm driving. I mean, it's like, I'm like, this is like a real problem with the tire. It's not something I can just keep refilling. But I actually had to do that. Stop, refill, drive. I had to do it like 5 times. 5 times before I got someplace where I could get a cell signal on the main road, because there's a little tiny town just outside of Big Bend National Park called Terralinga. It's actually famous for its ghost town, which is pleasant. And I'm just praying, going, I hope that there's a mechanic somewhere in this place that can fix this tire, because otherwise I can't blow this thing back up every 5 miles for the next 300 miles before I get to a real town. Luckily there was. And they jacked up my car, they took off the tire and, plugged it up and put it back on, and I was good to go. But it kind of reminded me, we have these fears. And some of those things we can prepare for ahead of time, and some of them you can't. In Ecclesiastes, which a lot of you guys know I kind of have been into for the last several years, as it's Solomon kind of looking back on his life with all the wisdom that he's gained and all the experience he's gained, he actually says this, and this is one of the passages I really spent a lot of time thinking about. In Ecclesiastes 9, he's like, hey, whatever your hand finds to do with all your might, for in the realm of the dead where you're going, there's not going to be any planning, there's not going to be any working, there's not going to be any wisdom, there's not going to be any knowledge. So it's kind of like this idea that all that's done with in this life. And then he says this, he says, I've seen something else under the sun. He says, look, the race is not to the swift. It doesn't always go to the fastest person. The battle doesn't always go to the strongest person. He's like, the food doesn't always come to the wisest person, to the wise. Wealth doesn't always go to the brilliant. Favor doesn't always go to the learned. But he says this, he says, time and chance happen to them all. Why do some of the things happen in our life? Why did I get a flat tire in the middle? Like nobody else seemed to be getting a flat tire in the middle of the desert. Why am I the one person that happened to hit the rock just the right way to slash my tire and puncture it so that it won't, stay up? Time and chance. Time and chance happen to them all. It's a roll of the dice. You just don't know what's going to be thrown your direction. But in those moments, I realized I need to kind of be prepared, but I also need to freak out. And I don't have to have this constant fear going constantly, well, I can't go down any single road at this point because I might get a flat tire. I'm not going to stop the trip and fly home and just be like, well, sorry, I had a flat tire, so I guess it's game over. It's like I have to be willing to keep going. But I also have to be willing to get help. And so there's times in our lives where we have these things that happen that just time and chance happen to everybody. It may be a big fear of yours, or it may not be, or maybe just be an inconvenience. But during those moments, we can only do what we can do. And at some point, you're going to have to call for help. And you're going to have somebody who knows what they're doing to kind of help guide you through it. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about a grove, is that hopefully there's people in the grove that have experienced things that you've experienced and can kind of help you and say, I don't know what I'm doing here. Can you help me out? Do you have any wisdom? Have you gone through this before? And then be like, well, actually, I have gone through this before. There's something beautiful about having people that you can call out to, or calling out to your shepherd saying, hey, I need your help. I need your guidance. I need you to come to my rescue. And so that's kind of one of the assurances I think we have, because we just don't know what's going to happen in life. 15,000 miles, guess what? That wasn't the only time I had an issue with the car. I'll skip the second one because that's a really good story. But the third one, I'm not kidding. We're driving from Camden's place in Nashville. So it's the final 250 miles. Like, it's the home stretch. We made it 15,000 miles. It's the last day. We're going to pull into home, and somewhere in the middle of Tennessee, boop, 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 boop. And this time, it's not going down like, 30, 20, and then a minute later down to 28. I mean, I'm watching it just go 25, 24, 23, 22, 29, like super fast. So we have to like immediately pull over because this thing is going down fast. We're in the middle of the highway. There's semi trucks like blowing by. We're right on the edge of the thing. So it's like every time they go by, it's like the wind's blowing. I'm freaking out again. Like, oh, what if we get hit by one of these semi? You know what I mean? And we couldn't fix it. It was like I blew it up and it wouldn't it wouldn't stay. It just like was, I could hear it like as soon as I was pumping it up, just immediately going out because somehow it got slashed, not just like a puncture, like it got slashed. Couldn't get the tire off, couldn't get the thing off because it was too tight. So I had to call somebody. Had to call somebody to come to our rescue and to help us get the thing fixed. They couldn't, we had to go to a place to get a new tire because it, you know what I mean? Last day, almost made it. Time and chance happened to them all. And when those things happen in life, I don't think we don't necessarily need to freak out. We don't need to say, I'm never driving a car, going on a road trip ever again. We need to call for help. And we need to kind of have this perspective that God will be there for us. He will get us through it. We can take a deep breath and just call on his name or call AAA or call somebody who can help you, you know what I mean? And come to your aid and come to your assistance, whether that's a figurative thing or a literal thing. So we're going to be talking more about that, talking more about our fears. What do we do with that? What do we fear more? Do we fear God? Do we fear Yahweh and respect him and trust him? Or do we fear our circumstances? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? How are we going to eat? What are we going to, you know what I mean? All those different things that we kind of are our own, the internal things that kind of cause us to become deflated, if you will. So hopefully you guys will have a great discussion. You guys will be a great encouragement to one another as you discuss this.